Hey there, it's Suzanne Clegg. I'm going to be talking about the Octave Resonance Healing approach. As many of you know, I'm a Bengston Method practitioner, among about a gazillion other things. I'm an acupuncturist, an herbalist, a dietitian, all but dissertation in neurophysiology. I'm a medical intuitive, a sound healer. That's an author. I'm probably forgetting a bunch of other. I've learned, been to like a lifetime of weekend workshops in energy therapies. So I'm a seasoned practitioner of energy therapies, and I know how to coax the natural healing forces into action. And I usually say nature first, medication second or 10th. All right, because the healing that you get when you do it naturally is usually deeper and kinder. And if there's not much of a downside to doing that, why wouldn't you do the safer, more effective, more fundamentally effective way to help yourself first? There's a lot of political reasons why you wouldn't, or just consciousness reasons why you wouldn't. But anyway, I'm here for the people that have the consciousness to realize that nature first, drugs last is just a better way to do things. So, a million years ago, well, back in 2009, that's not a million. What is that? That's 15, 16 years ago. And I was mentored by Bill Bengston and his method. And I had known him for a decade before then, more than a decade before then. And 15 years before then, I'd known him, and I was sort of in the wings with all his mouse research. And so that was life-changing when I facilitated several cancer cures or complete remissions without chemo or radiation. It felt like I changed my life's trajectory. It's like it changes you when you participate in something like that. So I've been participating, and I always say that the Bengston Method is two things. One is connect, and the other is to cycle. And the main way we connect is through our attention. And we can connect physically, we can connect with our life force, we can connect with our emotions, we can connect in our imagination, we can connect spiritually. And I've sort of like delineated all these ways of connecting. And like gone are the days when you just do the Bengston Method and you dose it for a certain amount of time, and then you say, oh, it worked, or oh, it didn't work. It's like, no, you can tweak it. You can there's little things you can do that still completely honor Bill Bengston's instructions that enhance it. So, So this Octave Resonance Healing approach is a method of observation. It's not a technique. I could apply this method to Reiki. I could apply it to cooking. I could apply it to changing a tire. I could apply it to shopping in the grocery store. But I like to apply it a lot to my healing practice. And I think what happens is that we're all a little more quantum than we realize, that the observer in us is actually creating a lot that we don't realize. When we observe something, there's something that bounces back or that responds to our observation. So I didn't start out thinking quantum, but now I'm realizing, oh, maybe that's one of the mechanisms of why this is so helpful to me and my clients. So today I'm going to talk about why it might be helpful to to observe holistically, rather than generally or habitually. Okay? So this Octave Resonance Healing approach, the idea is that every one of these dimensions, the physical, the life force, the emotions and images, the spiritual or the octave of higher perspective, these are all just part of our human experience. We're able to observe these parts of ourselves. There's certainly parts of ourselves we're not able to easily observe, for sure. These are the ones that are just sort of practical in the here and now, don't take special equipment, except your own senses. All right. And what I think happens when you're able to observe holistically rather than just by habit of whatever sparks your eye, like, oh, I just noticed that thing, is what starts happening is you are more present to this living intelligence that is within everything, even rocks, even, plastic, even rocks and trees. Oh, I already said rocks, trees and plants and the wind and the sky and human bodies, animal bodies. There is this aliveness of consciousness, even though if it's not alive in the biological sense, it's alive in the sense that it responds to our attention. So I wanted to go through some of these benefits. So there's like 7 of them, so that's a lot. But anyway, so one of the benefits of this 4-octave observation is expanded awareness. And if you are able to perceive multiple layers of reality at once, so you can see a tree and you can see the soul of the tree, and then you can see the history of the tree, and it's all just right there in a kind of a matter-of-fact, easy, gentle way, you are going to notice things that you wouldn't notice otherwise. And with healing work, that would maybe give you feedback. Because often I feel like sometimes all I do with my clairvoyance is I look and give people the confidence that something's actually changing. And then when it changes so dramatically that they can notice, they go, oh, you were right. And I'm like, I just looked, and you can too. It's not hidden. It's just you have to know what to pay attention to. And okay, so that's number 1, expanded awareness. Number 2 is holistic connection to the environment. If we are able to observe on all these 4 octaves, and you can observe higher and lower depending on if you have machines helping you or clairvoyance helping you, it just increases our sense of participation in nature. And I use that word participation very philosophically, as well as just in the mundane way of like being present with it. When we participate deeply with something, it's like we become part of it, and it becomes part of us. And then I can feel things in my body, I can smell things, I can taste things that otherwise I wouldn't be able to do. And it's this holistic looking at things that helps me do that a lot. So it's not that just that I'm clairvoyant, it's that I'm looking at the whole. The physical changes, the etheric changes, the astral changes, the higher levels changes. And you think, like, well, that's a big skill, but we're all doing it all the time. I guess my role is to help us learn that we are doing it all the time, so we can note to self to like make sure we're looking with all of us, not just part of us. Another number 3 is presence or inner calm. The attention required for observation draws the mind out of distraction. It's not so much a laser focus as it is an embodied presence. And I think this embodied presence is healing for whatever we're trying to work with, whether that's reading our email or trying to cool down a hot cancerous tumor. So I feel like working holistically does that, like observing holistically, all at once. So what's different from my Octave Resonance Method than like Rudolf Steiner's fourfold is he doesn't emphasize doing all 4 octaves at once or being vaguely aware of them. I'm sure he was vaguely aware of them, but this idea that things can resonate, and on one level it's a physical thing, and the next level it's like a life force thing, and so on. It's like you can't change something physical without changing the other levels. You can't change something emotional without affecting the physical and all the other levels. So it's looking at these relationships between these levels that might seem like they obey different rules, but they're very, very connected. They co-create each other all the time. All right. The next one is sense of meaning and belonging. sometimes by seeing ourselves as part of a living, conscious landscape, we can experience a renewed purpose and reverence. And I don't think you need to be reverent, and you don't need to have a super big purpose to heal. And it feels like with cancer you have to be super duper reverent. I don't think that at all. But when you look at something holistically and reverence arises, it's not like you're trying to apply reverence to something, but it arises. Wow, is it honest and beautiful and healing? And that just came from looking at it in a fourfold way rather than a laser focus way. The next benefit of this 4-octave observation is curiosity and wonder. So the act of noticing without judging restores a childlike curiosity and replaces intellectual certainty with wonder and sometimes awe, or sometimes disgust. It's not always positive, right? But it's always something if you can pull it off. It's if you, yeah. All right, so the next one is integration of science and spirit. Observing phenomena across all the 4 octaves invites both analytical and intuitive ways of knowing to coexist. So you're not just, okay, now I'm going to look at this physical, oh, now I'm going to be intuitive. It's not like separate compartments. They're merged, and they inform each other, and it's pretty fun. And then the last one is practical application. Once you understand how to observe on all 4 levels, you can bring it into any activity: teaching, caregiving, creating, making ordinary experiences richer and more interconnected. So what does this have to do with our healing circle today? If you're watching this on YouTube later, this is the teaching portion of a group distance healing. And I do this teaching so that we can do a better job at doing our group distance healing. And so how can observing on the 4 levels help us? So let's think about that. So on a physical level, not the imaginal level, you can be aware of your posture, you can be aware of your environment, you can set up your environment so that it creates a healing atmosphere, or at least an intentional atmosphere. You can notice your breathing, things like that. On a life force, so far, since this is a distance healing group, we can't physically notice the people and the animals that we're doing distance healing for, because that would not be the physical octave. But on the life force octave, we can also notice our life force, our own personal life force. So you can notice your breathing, you can notice your hands and feet being cold or hot, you can notice any muscle tension, any pain. This is any fatigue, any energy. This is your life force talking to you, and so you just notice that. And when we include the physical awareness of our posture, like a lot of people did mudras, right? Like the physical was, if you did it at the same time as your spiritual exercises, it did something more. So I'd invite you all to do something with your physical body right now that will, your body or your environment, that will enhance this healing experience. Okay. And now breathe. That is the life force. There's the expression of the life force. When we stop breathing, the life force goes down. And maybe just breathe in the here and now, and exhale out the here and now. So the goal is just to be present with now. It's not to breathe in light and love and exhale fear or anything like that. Not that those aren't valid things to do, but just right now, I'm here now. I'm still here now. I'm here now. I'm still here now. And I'm just noticing the rhythm of my breathing, and I invite you to do the same. Okay, so with that foundation in these more physical levels or octaves, our imagination and our images, it's the same thing as imagination, our emotions and our contact with ideas and spiritual forces will hopefully be enhanced. And this is where I say we're not like doing this so that the spiritual healing can actually happen. It's not like it happens at the spirit and then filters down, although that it certainly appears that way sometimes. I would say that it just happens and we register it in our whole being. Okay? And does it arise out of the body? Does it arise out of our life force? Does it arise out of some spiritual thing, some perception, some thought? Does it arise out of an image that is super interesting or healing for us? My sense is that they all happen simultaneously. And then one of them grows and you pay attention to it and it grows more. Okay, good. So we're going to be going down a forest path and we're going to be going into an inner healing sanctuary. And what I'd like you to do is realize that you're not just like make-believing. You're touching, you're connecting with something true and real. That's, yes, imaginary, but it's a true and real image. Real in the sense that it really exists in your mind. And like, so for example, if I tell you to think of a pink elephant, I bet we all thought of a pink elephant just now, and all of our pink elephants are different, right? And the differences in how your imagination presented the pink elephant to you is actually important. So be very interested in the images that arise according to when I do this guided visualization. No pink elephants in the guided visualization. We're just going to go into a healing sanctuary. But how the wall looks, how the gatekeeper looks, how the pond looks, how the people and the animals floating on their boats looks, who else is there in the healing sanctuary, it all matters. So you can touch this image with your thinking, with that witnessing part of you, with curiosity and wonder. Okay? Because it really is a revelation. All right. And then if you are approaching this from curiosity and wonder and like, ooh, look at that, the gatekeeper has pants on today, and usually she has a skirt. Or, oh, the gatekeeper looks like a little Santa's elf, and usually it looks like a pink elephant or something, like whatever the changes is, you can look at it with curiosity and wonder, and that witnessing part of you is part of what I call the spiritual realm, because you can witness your emotions, you can witness your images. It's different than the emotions and the images, your ability to reflect on them. Okay. Then, of course, there's higher realms of the spirit, which are a little harder to observe just for the normal waking human consciousness. Certainly you can go there, and you're welcome to if you know how. But I like this octave, these 4 octaves, because it's just so human. And it's, you don't have to believe in it. You just have to okay, let me tune my lens that way and see what kind of mileage I get by including that in my awareness. Okay, so hope you liked that. And I'm going to be doing some other videos on the Octave Resonance Healing approach. I think I'm going to be doing one on a hike that I went on, and like how to go on a hike, with all 4 levels of awareness going. And then I want to do some more practical ones, like taking out the trash with the Octave Resonance Healing approach, washing my dog, it's everywhere. All these 4 octaves are just part of our awareness. And when we observe, we change. And I think the most powerful observation is the one that's right in the moment. You could say, oh, lovingly looking at reality is powerful. And I would say in general that's true. There are times when a very cutting, critical view of reality, of whatever you're observing, is the right thing. It's sort of like watering a plant. How much water do you give it? Do you give it what it needs? You give the present moment what it needs. All right, but I digress. Let's go into the healing now. Okay. And if you're watching this on YouTube, Please like, please subscribe, please comment.